The sessions have been resumed. So this is a problem. That's why in Hausa there is no off days. When there is some holidays, they forget to remind that there is a sessions. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين ثم الصلاة والسلام على محمد وآله الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. My congrats and tabrik on the arrival of the month of Rajab and also the occasions we have during this holy month Rajab al-Asab, and I hope that me and all mu'mineen are included in your du'as and prayers as well. In this session we are to discuss about the ijtihad during the major occultation of the 12th Imam of Shia. As you remember, in the 6th session or the previous session, the author discussed about the ijtihad at the time of the presence of the imams. So he discussed that whether there was any ijtihad at that time or there wasn't. So according to his view, as we say ijtihad today, there wasn't such ijtihad before at the time of the presence of the imams. But we can find some sort of ijtihad, as we call it tafri'ul furu, to deduct some subtitles or let's say sub-verdicts from the sources. That's why he says that Salaam alaikum. He says that we see in some cases Imam orders some of his companions to make some tafriyat. But this is the main question, which shall we call such a order by Imam as ijtihad, or it wasn't a kind of ijtihad we discussed. So this was the question, the main question we discussed in the previous session. But the main question is the ijtihad during the major occultation of the 12th Imam. At this session, by major occultation, we discussed the 10th century of the Anno Domini, AB. We are not discussing 10th century, means the 4th century of lunar Hijrah. Yes, which it is the time of the Ibn Junayd al-Skafi, Ibn Abi Aqil, or closer to time of the Sheikh Mufid, Sheikh Tusi. He is discussing let's say in this way, from the 300th century to the 400th century, 400 years. I mean the 4th century based on the lunar Hijrah. So the main topic today is that ijtihad during the major occultation. We mean the 4th century. We mean the 10th century of the AB. Yes. He discussed the ijtihad at the time of the Sheikh Saduq, ijtihad at the time of the Kulaini. He discusses the ijtihad at the time of the Ibn Abi Aqil and the Ibn Junayd, or the ijtihad before the Sheikh Mufid. So did we have ijtihad at the 4th century, which is the beginning of the occultation, major occultation, or we can say it is he is discussing the ijtihad at the time of the minor occultation and major occultation, because minor occultation only it was almost 8 decades. Yes, it is not more time. By the way, he is discussing the when he says that major occultation, because you know that when we say occultation or presence of Imam, according to Shia we have presence of era of the presence of Imam and era of the occultation of Imam. When we say presence of Imam, the minor occultation is included in occultation or presence of Imam, because the 4 successor and Nawab, they had direct access to Imam. So minor occultation is included under the umbrella of the presence of Imam, not the occultation. By the name it is called occultation, but in action, in practice, it is included under the presence of Imam, because on that time there was direct access to the Imam. Yes? So Professor Takim starts his discussion with this topic. Did we have ijtihad at the time of the minor occultation and major occultation, meaning the era of the 4th century or 10th century? He says that at this time, when we look to the history, we see that ijtihad, starting by the time of the Imam Sadiq and so on, the title ijtihad and being mujtahid, being called as a mujtahid, had a negative meaning among the Shias. When they were calling someone as a mujtahid and someone is doing ijtihad, the term ijtihad, we are talking not the practice of ijtihad, we are talking about the term of ijtihad. He says that the term of ijtihad had a negative meaning. If today we say Shia is ijtihadi, and we are proud that Shia is ijtihadi, on that time calling someone he is the ijtihadi one, it had a negative meaning. He was humiliated by the Shia scholars. There is a good discussion in the semantic studies, Manashanasi. They say that if you want to get the meaning of the word, you are not allowed only. You know that in our ordinary method, we look to the al-mutabadar al-zahn. We look to the books, dictionaries. We say, okay, ijtihad is that. So if Imam Sadiq said ijtihad is so, so it is so. In semantic studies, they say that when you get a word, a term, you are not allowed to find the meaning only by the dictionaries, by the lughats. You have to date back to the date of the issuance of that word. Maybe today this word has a positive meaning, but on that time it had a negative meaning. This is very important, brothers. One of the today, the akhbaris, once I said here, once I was praying in Brisbane of Australia, I saw that some people are not following me in the prayer. I guess that they heard something about me. They don't rely on my justice. They have some doubt about idala of mine. I asked the brothers why these people never make iqtida to me. He said that perhaps the problem is that they are akhbari. Because you are from Qom, you are ijtihadi, that's why they don't follow you. You see, I discussed with them regarding why you, if I'm ijtihadi, so why you do not follow me? They said that never you heard that how many hadiths by Imam issued against the ijtihad and mujtahid. You see, they say because Imam said that mujtahid is so, ijtihad is so, now after centuries you are called as mujtahid, so you are the sample of that hadith. But he never knows that the ijtihad at that time had a negative meaning. The word of ijtihad today we mean is widely different. This is one of the problems. Sorry to say, one of the great lecturer, great muballighin, he mostly during this 2-3 years, he's talking about the Sufiya. I'm not supporting the Sufis, but he says that you don't know, Imam Sadiq said that Sufis, they are so. So some people today, they are called Sufi. He says that don't follow. Imam Sadiq said so. The Sufi at the time of Imam Sadiq is different than the Sufi today, we say. Like the Zaydis. Zaydis before, they were against the Shia. You know that why we are called Rafidi? Because on that time, Zaydis, they were calling us, they are Rafidi. Zaydi called us Rafidi. But today, Zaydis are in favor of us. One of the problems in understanding of the hadiths and the sources is semantic studies. Wallahi, this semantic studies is very important. So, Takim says that the first point he highlights is that ijtihad had a negative meaning at the time of the 4th century of Islam among the Shias, but it had positive meaning among the Sunnis. That's why when Shia were saying that he is doing ijtihad, means he is issuing his personal view. Ijtihad in the mindset of the Shiism in this era was meant that he is issuing a rai. Yes. So ijtihad at that time had this meaning. Second point, that's why he says that Shia, instead of issuing ijtihad at this time, Shia produced usul. But brothers, keep in your mind, usul here never means usul, the principles of ijtihad we call usul ijtihadi. Usul here means usul arba'amiyah. Look, another point we have to understand from the semantic studies from perspective of semantic studies is that asl among the Shia at this time has a special meaning. What is the usul arba'amiyah? Usul arba'amiyah means 400. Asl means book. Asl here means book, not the principles. Not the principles. You see, and subhanallah, I have a suggestion today. We don't have this studies in Hausa. I never heard about. We have a comparative studies between Shia and Sunnis. But today we are in need of studying jurisprudence, comparative studies of the history of the jurisprudence. This is very important. Asl, what is the usul arba'amiyah? What is the usul arba'amiyah, brothers? I want to give a short introduction regarding this book. Takim says that usul arba'amiyah, briefly, usul arba'amiyah means 400 books, and each book is by the name of one rawi. For example, the book of Asim al-Kufi. The book means the as of Zayd al-Kufi. You see, this arba'amiyah book, arba'amiyah asl, has some characteristics. That's why I say that, brothers and sisters, we have to study the comparative studies of the jurisprudence between Shia and Sunnis. What is the characteristics of the usul arba'amiyah? First, it is categorized on the rawi, not the riwayah. Each title is based on Ravi. For example, the Asim said this kind of the hadiths. Yes? It is categorized based on the Ravi. 2, please keep in your mind, because I want to say something. 2, each riwayah included in Usul Arba'amiyah, they are not narrated from Imam. They are heard directly from Imam. This is the second point. So Usul Arba'amiyah, they are not narrations of the ahadith, but also heard al-masmu'at from the Imams. That's why Kutub Arba'a are narrating from the Usul al-Arba'amiyah. When we say that Kutub Arba'a, they are very authentic because they are narrating from the very source. You get the point. So Asl on that time, 2 points we got today. The process of the evaluation of the meaning of Ijtihad during the history, how it had the changes, and the second, the meaning of the word Al-Asl. Al-Asl on that time never means the Asl we say today, Asl al-Istisab, Asl al-Bara'a. Asl on that time means the direct, heard teaching of Imam. Second point, so the usul, they are masmu'at rather than being marwiyat. And the second is that, so yes, they are not narrated from other source, but also they are the source for the other narrations. Subhanallah, I didn't find any answer to this. You know that if we have Usul Arba'amiyah, which they are the very authentic sources of the Shia, you know that Usul Arba'amiyah, some scholars says that they are, it is famous that they were Usul 400, but in action they were 70. Yes, they have different views regarding to that. But the point is that as long as the Shia were compiling Usul Arba'amiyah, Sunnis were compiling the book called Al-Musnad. Subhanallah, they both are compiling in the same time. But each one is using their own title. Shia never used the title of Al-Musnad, and Sunni never used the title of Al-Asl. And subhanallah, this is the comparative study of the history of the Ijtihad. Wallah, I went through the books, I couldn't find good answers. Yes, I had a short time, but if you could find why they use the Musnad, we use the Asl. Why this term came? Imam taught them to use the title of Asl. Who said them use the title of Musnad and use the title of Asl? But the point is that the content of the Musnad and Asl, they are very similar. How? Both are categorized based on Ravi rather than being based on Riwayah. The Musnads among the Sunnis, they are categorized based on the Ravi, as well as the Asl, they are categorized based on the Ravi. One of my questions I couldn't answer, so I raised one question. One is that, who taught them to call these books by the name of the Asl or Musnad? I couldn't find the answer. Please, if you find, share it with me. And the second is that the content are similar. Both of them are masmu'at rather than being marwiyat. So I have here a question, historical question. Sunnis on that time, they had no access to the Prophet because masmu' should only be from the Prophet. Maybe by masmu' here we have to say that the Sunnis Musnads are heard by the Sahaba, Tabi'in or Atba as well. Regardless of my question, second question is that, I couldn't find the answer, is that Musnad were written and compiled before the Asl, or Al-Asl were written before the Musnad. What I do mean by that? I mean that the Sunnis imitated the Shia in this structure, or the Sunnis imitated the Shia in this structure. How do you guess? Just guess about. What is your idea? My guess is that, before going to the research, my guess is that Sunnis imitated the Shia in this process. I think usul are written prior to the Musnad. It is my, without research, just as a guess. But let's research and maybe find some different views. Yes. This usuls, Takim says that in Shia Ijtihad, at the time of the occultation of the Imam, Shia had no inclination to the Ijtihad because they had access to the usul. And Ijtihad had a negative meaning. Yes? Let's read the book. I have a very good discussion today with you. During the minor occultation, Shia scholars continued to tend of citation of traditions in expounding legal precepts. Assalamu alaikum. This was in all probability because of the presence of the many texts. Why Shia had no access to the Ijtihad? The reason is that because of the presence, at the presence of Imam was already there, himself was there. But today, at the minor occultation, Imam is not already there by himself, but his saying is there. Because at this time, presence of many texts that included in 400 usul arba'amiyah, that had been compiled by the Imam's associates, Imam companions. You know that the usul arba'amiyah, according to some scholars, they were written from Imam Ali to Imam al-Askari, and some says that they were written by Imam al-Sadiq to Imam al-Askari. By the way, we see that the companions of Imam, they wrote these usuls. And usul here never means usul al-fiqh al-ijtihadi. Usul means the books, which they were the source of the 4 books, Kutub Arba'ah. At this time, the process of extrapolating of legal prescription was not at this time, the process of extrapolating of legal prescription was not imbibed with the complex of the obfuscating, means mubham, ambiguity principles of Islamic theories. He says that at this time the text was not based on some ambiguity principles, but this was because Shia scholars like Muhammad bin Ya'qub al-Kulayni and as-Saduq were engaged with primarily in assuming and recording traditions from Imams. At this time we see, after the Usul Arba'amiyah, these great scholars like Kulayni and Saduq, they are compiling the hadiths from the Usul Arba'amiyah, and they are writing the books of, let's say, 4 books. Yes? So we see that at the time of the minor occultation of Imam, let's come to this slide. We have the hadiths. First one, we have the hadiths here. We see that they are compiling the ahadith, the direct narrates from the imams. They are compiling them in a book. Kulaini and Sadu would be the sample of these peoples. Yes? Yes? Okay. I will come to this slide one more. So, how about ijtihad at this time? He says that still there is no ijtihad. Because here, narration of the text and compiling the books are more paid attention than making ijtihad among the Shias. The penchant for collecting and recording the traditions and issuing legal decrees based on hadith, not ijtihad. Based on hadith reports were salient trait. Salient trait means great movement of the scholars in Qom, like the Saduq, which a feature, a tendency that continued till the 10th century. 10th century means 4th century of the lunar hijrah. He says that till Sheikh Mufid, we see that there is no ijtihad. What he's doing is a kind of issuing legal decrees based on the hadith, rather than being based on the ijtihad. To further vindicate their practice, the scholars cited traditions from the imams that, look, he says that not only they were issuing the fatwas based on the hadiths, but also they were referring to some traditions from imam denouncing the ijtihad, saying that the ijtihad is not an accurate way. So, the scholars cited traditions from the imams that denounced Sunni's interpretation. He says that at this time, Shia are making, let me say in this way, Shia are making recording the hadiths, but Sunnis are interpreting the hadiths. Shia still has access to report the hadith, to compile the book, the Arba, 4 books, Kutub Arba, but the Sunnis, now they moved a bit forward. They are interpreting. You get the point? In a way that he says that they were making tarwiyah, but these people, they were making tafsir. Okay. The negative, where am I? Yes. Tools like those are analogical deduction. They are denouncing the qiyas and independent reasoning, rai, ijtihad. You see, the negative stance by the Shia scholars toward the Sunni legal practice was premised on the view of the ijtihad that was a deductive process based on the personal conjecture. You get the point. So, briefly he says that ijtihad during the major occultation of the 12th Imam, among the Shias there is no ijtihad. Shia is neglected, denounced by the Shias. But instead, Shia are compiling some usuls, let me say in this way, I was saying in Persian, I was writing in Persian point, سنی ها کتاب اصول اجتهادی می نوشتند، شیعیان کتاب اصول حدیثی می نوشتند. This is the main difference, briefly we can say in Persian. They were writing the usul of the hadiths, 400 asr, but they are writing the usul of ijtihad in this way. Okay, so the negative stance toward the Sunni legal practice was permissed on the view of this ijtihad, which was a deductive process based on the personal conjecture, and therefore had no legal basis on the Sharia. Ijtihad had no legal stance and positions in the Sharia. Due to this, the term ijtihad was used in this disparaging way by the Shia until 13th century. Disparaging means humiliating way, neglected way. They didn't care about this till the 13th century. 13th century would be the time of the Sheikh Tusi somehow. The denunciation of ijtihad during this period also indicates that the Shia jurists wanted to construct a legal edifice, means office, construction, building that was void of any doubt and uncertainty. Why is that the Shia didn't rely on ijtihad? Because Shia believed that relying on the usul al-hadithi, usul al-ba'miyah, is more better than relying to the ijtihad. Because ijtihad has some doubt, uncertainty, but here we know that the direct hadith in this field. Briefly, we see that we raised two questions, but let's come to very important topic of today's discussion. He says that with the passage of the time, as the time is moving, Shia fuqaha, look, he is using fuqaha. Shia fuqaha, not Shia mujtahidin. This is very important, because he believes that, let's go ahead, Shia fuqaha sensed the need to respond to the newer issues, new problems, and novel circumstances. As the time passed away, he said, Shia ulama, Shia fuqaha, not Shia muhaddithin. Put in your mind. But not Shia mujtahidin still. Because on that time, we has no Shia mujtahid still. As the Takim says, we have no Shia mujtahid, but as well as no Shia muhaddith. Because Shia muhaddithin, they were Kolani and Saduq. They said that only we compiled the hadith. So, we are facing new term, new scholars among the Shia, and they are called Shia fuqaha. He will discuss later that Shia never used Shia mujtahid at this time. Instead, they used Shia faqih. You get the point? You see how Shia were, what can I say, very conservative in the usage of the terms. So, new circumstances, novel issues, urged the Shia fuqaha that emerged during the post-Ghaiba period. In the post-Ghaiba period, they are in need of that. They also realize that in their deliberation, laws from the Imam's tradition, the first Shia jurist, the first Shia faqih, who is reported to use the ijtihad, they are two. Ibn Abi Aqil and Abu Junayd al-Skafi. So, known as Ibn Abi Aqil, in his book titled Al-Mustamsak bi Habl al-Rasul. Subhanallah, when you read the book of the Mr. Pakatchi, he has a paper regarding the book of the book of Al-Mustamsak of Ibn Abi Aqil. He says that when he want to issue the fatwa, he never says that it is written in Sharia. Sunnis were saying that it is written in Sharia. Before you brothers come, I discussed that we have a comparative studies of the Fiqh al-Muqaran, but we need comparative studies of the history of the Ijtihad. We see that Sunnis on that time, they were writing that this is in Sharia, but Ibn Abi Aqil want to make a kind of distance between Shia and Sunnis. That's why he never says that it is written in Sharia. He says that it is written, it is based on the view of al-Rasul. This is the big difference. Mostly he uses this term, al-Rasul, not Sharia. It shows that even Shia Fuqaha, still they are a bit far from the Sunnis school of thought, isn't it? So, which is mentioned by the Shia bibliographer An-Najashi as one of the most acclaimed texts on this subject. In this work, Ibn Abi Aqil considers and critiques some of the principles employed in rendering juridical verdicts. Okay. A contemporary Shia, Iranian Shia scholar stressed that, where I am? Yes. Although Ibn Aqil's work is no longer exists, his work is not accessible, but Ayatollah Jannati says that, Iranian contemporary Shia scholar, he says that Ibn Abi Aqil mentions some of the hermeneutic strategies. What does it mean? It means that Shia Fuqaha, now they are started interpreting. Because hermeneutic means interpreting. If before Sunnis they were doing interpretation, now it is the time of Shia to do that. So you understand that when Ayatollah Javadi Amali says that, where am I? When Ayatollah Javadi Amali says that Ijtihad of Sunni is prior to Ijtihad of the Shia, that is true. When it comes to the interpretation, we see that Sunnis are more earlier than us. Shia did by Ibn Abi Aqil, but they did it before. Ayatollah Jannati says that Ibn Abi Aqil, he did some hermeneutical tragedies for the Usul al-Fiqh that were developed and elaborated on by subsequent jurists. Before to Ibn Abi Aqil, we had the Shia jurisprudence took the form of narration and interpretation of the traditions. Okay. So, the title today was the Ijtihad at the time of the major occultation of Imams. Briefly, we said that when we say major occultation, because a minor occultation, according to Shia understanding, it is the time of presence of Imam, not the occultation of Imam. Yes, because Imam had access, they had access, direct access to this Imam. At this time, there was any ijtihad or not? according to the Takim's view, he says that ijtihad had a negative meaning. The term ijtihad had a negative meaning. Second, Shia, instead of making ijtihad, they compile some asls. But asl here never means usul ijtihadi. Asl means book. And the third point, we said that subhanallah, Shia were calling their sources asl, but Sunnis they were calling their books musnad. Yes? The fourth point, I have some questions, main questions from you. Let's go to the 10th century. I mean, the century which starts by the birth of the Imam al-Zaman alayhi salam. You know that Kulaini was born before the birth of Imam al-Zaman alayhi salam. And according to some reports, Kulaini passed away exactly when Imam Zaman alayhi salam passed away. Imam Zaman was born. He passed away when Imam Zaman alayhi salam, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, was born. And after that, it is Saduq. Just historically, let's come to the second group. You see, we have, at this century, we have I categorized Shia ulamas in 3 groups. I call some of them hadithis. Hadithis, we can call namely both Kulaini and Saduq. Saduq was alive at the minor occultation of Imam al-Zaman alayhi salam and passed away later. And these people, they were Iranian and Qomis. Yes? As I know, Kulaini was from Hasanabad, Peshawar, from there, and both of them were from this area. At this time, we have a second group, and they are ijtihadis. Whether we can call, I think I have to change the title. We have to say faqihs, not ijtihadis. The best is to say faqihs. And one of them is Ibn Abi Aqil, and the second is Ibn Junayd Iskafi. And both of them are closer to the time of the occultation of Imam al-Zaman alayhi salam. Yes? And these 2 people, they are from Oman and Nishabur. You see, we have 2 groups. One group, they are leading the Shia as the headquarter of the Hadithis. They are from Qom and they have a Hadithi approach, Kulaini and Saduq. And some groups, which mostly they are from Oman and one from Nishabur, because Ibn Junayd Iskafi, there is doubt whether he was from Baghdad or from Nishabur. Regardless of this discussion, they were faqih. Subhanallah, none of them met each other on that time. The faqihis, they are doing their ijtihad, fiqaha, never met the muhaddithin. They were in the same time. Just according to some narrates, Ibn Abi Aqil met Ibn Gulabay. Just, this is the very narrow connection. And third point, which is amazing, we have another leaders of the Shia. So one leader, a group of leaders, they are hadithis. Mainly they are from Qom. Second group, they are faqihs. And we mentioned 2. The third group, they are the representative of imams. Nuwab Khassa. And you know most of the Nuwab Khassa, they were from Baghdad. Please read the story of the last naib of Imam, Muhammad ibn Ali Semyari. You know that? According to some hadiths, he announced to kill the Hajjaj. Whether it is true or not, just you know that he was not accepted by the Shias. That's why his successorship was only 1 year. He was not accepted by the Shia as the successor of Imam. History is amazing. He was the direct, was the Naib Khas of Imam, but Shia never accepted him. Why is that? Okay. You see, at one time, Shia is not a big community. We have 3 movements. One of them are just Naib, but you know that they are Naib. But we have to discuss that. Did they have a scholastic and the religious activities or not? Just they were calling, we are Naib. So if they were Naib, how about their connection, Saduk connection with this Nawab? Was a connection, if they were Naib Khas, was any connection between the Ibn Abi Aqil with that Nawab or no? These are some of the crucial questions. But regardless of these crucial questions, which I put it in my mind to search more about, is the second group. Because we said that by the time there was the usul compilation, and the second was the some fuqahas. And we mentioned both Ibn Abi Aqil and Ibn Junayd. One of the questions is that where they did study. Who was the professors of Ibn Abi Aqil and Ibn Junayd? By the way, as soon as the ijtihad is pushing itself within the community of the Shia, something happens. Some of them is that, according to some scholars, Ibn Junayd al-Kafi, he was very close to the view of the Abu Hanifa and Ibn Malik. Also, he explicitly says that Qiyas is authentic. Explicitly he says that. What do you understand from this? It means that as much as ijtihad is pushing itself inside the Shia, the Sunni concept is pushing itself inside the Shia as well. Another point regarding these two scholars is that how the views has been changed. For example, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Yes, Ibn Abi Aqil's fatwas are very important. One of the, you know that, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the school of the ijtihad of Ibn Abi Aqil and Iskafi, which they are called by title Al-Aqdamin, Fuqaha Al-Aqdamin. When we say Fuqaha Al-Aqdamin, means Ibn Abi Aqil or Abu Junayd al-Kafi. These two, their views were neglected mainly by their disciples Sheikh Mufid and Sheikh Tusi. But their views after centuries were revived by the school of Hilla. Why is that? One of the questions is that why their views were neglected mainly by their disciples, but after that in Hilla they started paying attention to that. This is one of the questions we have to answer. But when we look to their views, Fuqaha al-Aqdamin, you know, they are closer to Imam. We see that they have some special views. For example, Ibn Junayd says that in the prayer for the men, you know, in Fuqaha says that for the men, only covering their special bodies is enough in the praying. No need to cover whole your body. Yes, that's why even in swimming pool you can pray for the men. How about the women? Is it allowed? No. Shall women pray in swimming pool? No. But he says that yes, they can. One of the amazing view of the Fuqaha al-Aqdamin is that he says that just covering the special part of the bodies is enough for both women and men. And also, one of the view which is very similar to Abu Hanifa is that he says that laughing, what we say to gahazadan in English, louder laughing. Yes, louder laughing voids your prayer. Sorry, voids your ablution, wudu. You see how views are being changed. And also Ibn Aqil's view, I think that would be enough of today. He says that marriage with Ahlul Kitab absolutely is allowed, whether to be Jew or Christians, or left of their foods, Surul Yahud, and left of the foods of the Ahlul Kitab, they are eatable. And one more point, even their slaughters, Zabiha of Ahlul Kitab is eatable. We see that the view of the Aqdamin, Fuqaha of Aqdamin, was very considerable. That's why the ulama of Hilla paid attention for that. I think one of the questions we have to discuss is why their view were discussable. And another main question, if you can find something, please share it with me, is that why there was no good relationship, or still we couldn't find a good means scientific relationship. By the way, they were friends with each other, they loved each other, they were living in same time. Why the people of Qom, they were most hadithist, but the people of the Baghdad, they were called as Nawab, but people of other area, they started to be faqih. What was a kind of, was there any connection and relationship between these scholars? This is the main topic we can discuss later. If you can find some other points, please share it with me as well. So, briefly, Takim believes that till the 10th century of the AB, there was no ijtihad among the Shias. Just we had some fuqahas, but mostly they were writing the usul, and then the book of the Arba'a, and we have some faqihs, but with different views. Please recite salawat for the hastening of the arrival of Imam al-Zaman alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Any point or any questions? Yes, brother.
Thank you very much for your presentation. A question just appeared in my mind, especially about this period of time that some people call this as the first Akbari period sometimes, or old Akbari period. My question is this.
Or the original Akbari period.
Original.
Yeah.
With this explanation from the writer, I'm very curious to know his opinions about Mullah Amin Astarabadi movements or Akhbari movements, especially in 10th or 11th or 12th centuries. I mean, all of things that appeared from Allah Majlisi and all of them. I mean, from this view, it is very
acceptable.
Yeah, acceptable that to say that he is completely Akhbari or his view is like that, or maybe. Mullah, I mean, these things maybe my question will answer in future. But right now,
he's fully against Akhbari because I'm a close friend of him. I know that he is very against Akhbaris. But you know that one of the main purpose of the Akhbaris, particularly Amin as-Sarabadis, Muhaddis Bahranis, was that the ijtihad is emerged by the Sheikh Tusi particularly, and after that the Fuqaha were silent. This ijtihad is not customized in accordance to the Ahlul Bayt's teaching. Most of the terms is used by the Sheikh Tusi, and the process, not only the terms. I said that Ibn Aqil uses the term of al-Rasul, not the Sharia. And most of other process, they said that this process of ijtihad, they were not. We say that it is not fair to say that the Akhbaris were against Aql. They were not against Aql. They were against Aql, which is used in the process of ijtihad. To be honest, that's why they said that this process of ijtihad is not acceptable. They said that instead of making any ijtihad, if there is any question, please refer to hadith. If there is novel circumstances, stop saying something. Yes? Because they had some concerns regarding the ijtihad, which was borrowed from the concept of the Sunnis, particularly at the time of the Sheikh Tusi. And the reason is obvious. Oh, I forgot to say, the first one, I was looking Google and some papers I couldn't find. I asked ChatGPT, I don't know whether it is true or not. The first person who used the term ijtihad, who was that? He used the term ijtihad. ChatGPT said that it was Shafi'i. And you know that how Sheikh Tusi was influenced by Shafi'i. He is very influenced. He explicitly says in one of his books, I don't know if it is Mabsut or where, he says that. And many scholars, they say that he was affected by the by the Shafi'i. But ChatGPT said one more good point. He said that, but this word was used not in this meaning, but similar to this meaning by the Prophet. When Prophet sent one of his companions to Yemen, his name was Abazari. When Prophet sent him to Yemen, Prophet said that Vajtahid. So ChatGPT said that some people says that when Prophet said Vajtahid, maybe his meaning was that you can make ijtihad in some cases. But some other says that Vajtahid had a other meaning. By the way, the term ijtihad, as the Takim says, it is borrowed concept. Yes, by the process of the history, it was customized with the Shia ideology. But this concept is not, as we say sometimes, Doktor is not the Hausavi concept. It is borrowed from the West. This concept is not. Yes, we customize it with our beliefs, but this concept is not ours. This is the main point we can highlight it here. Thank you, brother. Brother, thank you. Wa alaikum salam.
Allah accept your Hajj.
Jazakallah, Habibi. Oh, yeah, khair. Okay. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad one more. Allahumma sallu ala Muhammad. I don't have a time. Okay, we passed 10 minutes.
We have 15 to Azan.
Oh, we have 15 to Azan.
was the man talking about your recent Hajj, recent travel to Hajj?
What can I say?
The greatest memory.
It was not my first, but more restriction, unfortunately, more restriction, particularly for the Iranians. No gathering outside, inside of the masjid, even outside of the masjid. And also they made more limitation for visiting the Rawzatul Nabi. Even you bring Haji, he pays 60 million to come to Umrah, and he is not allowed to say salam to the Prophet. Because they made abandon to visit the shrine. Just they did a lottery. From each caravan, just 10, 15, they are allowed to go to do that. And what is that? We show some pictures in the hotel, which it is the holy shrine of Prophet. This is that Zahir says that I paid money to come to visit. It was already shown in my TV in Iran. This is one of the problem we face there. And really they want to divide Muslims from the Prophet. Even they can't say the salam to that. And the second is regarding mataf. Regarding to the mataf, they made more limitation. Only once you are allowed to go to the mataf and visit the Kaaba, not more. And in the second and third roofs, they let's say in this way, they made some obstacles in a way that if you come to the closer you can see the Kaaba. Yes, but they made some obstacles. Even the tall man, he can't see the Kaaba. Well, I was thinking that why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Prophet said that an-nadharu ila wajh al-Kaaba ibadah. They made it in a way that you can't watch to the Kaaba, even the tall man. I don't know what is going on, but as they obviously said that they are only thinking the pockets and the monies of the Muslims rather than spirituality. In the future, Hajj won't be the spiritual journey, sorry to say frankly. Just would be a trip. That's why by beginning of the 2025, they never issue the Umrah Ta'ashira or Umrah visa. They will issue tourist visa. Even the title is not the Umrah visa, it would be the tourist visa. Anywhere you want to go, you can go there. This is the problem we see, unfortunately, in Hajj. May the very owner of the Kaaba will arrive, and inshallah, he will renew many rules there, and the Ummah could visit the Kaaba as they wish, inshallah. Thank you, brother. حاضر از شما ممنونی محبت آیا ممنونی آیا فی آیا میزایلی ممنونی اون سوالایی که پرسیدم و برای من نکته‌هاش پیدا کردید محبت کنید من استفاده کنم برای آره برای من نشد حداقل در حد چت جی بی تی برای ما پیدا کنید برام من که حقیقتش هر جا کم میارم از چت جی بی تی استفاده میکنم